intuition is good and correct, but if I listen to somebody else now, then I'm in trouble.
There on OTT for the past 6 years. It's available free on YouTube, and yet people came to the theatres to watch it. I'm still trying to figure out what the reason for it is.
For me, how my career panned out is I just never stopped. You know, if something didn't do well, I didn't okay, I'd have one night of bawling and behaving. It's not just about you. And I think sometimes we obsess too much about ourselves and how, mera failure.
There is a kind of a joy within me which I feel that, wow, this guy, deserved it.
Body standards, I was that child who thought that being skinny is being fit. But it has nothing to do with the shape or size. Beauty is actually what you think of yourself, because I wasn't always confident in my body, and I think it's rather recent for me to start feeling because a woman's body changes a lot.
Hello, welcome
Hi.
to Etimes. And I'm going to straight dive into the interview, and I'm going to say that the title is so interesting, Sikandar Ka Muqaddar. And I know that it may have no connection with the iconic Amitabh Bachchan film, but it still rings a bell at least once. Did that happen to you all?
Of course.
I mean, it is a homage, right?
Yeah.
Yes, it
I
is.
think Neeraj sir has mentioned how it took for him, it is a homage of sorts, but definitely the film is completely different, and so are the
Yes.
characters, and so is everything around it.
Yes.
But yeah, that's how it's related.
The trailer looks extremely interesting, and all three of you come to this from such varied characters that you all have done this year. But individually, all of you, can you please tell me what was the most attracting factor in terms of, bringing in a certain niche to your character, or the script in general, which drew you towards accepting this? Who wants
For me, it was definitely to work with Neeraj sir and the entire team, because it's a really interesting cast, and it doesn't fall into the category of anything, any kind of framework that it's not conventional in its casting, or it felt new, it felt fresh.
Yeah.
I love the world that Neeraj sir was trying to create, and I've always been a fan of his work, so really wanted to collaborate with him, and this felt like a good opportunity.
Yeah, Jimmy, you've got a great collaboration with Neeraj Pandey and association with him over so many films. How was it this time around? And with time, with every film has been so good. Even your cameo in Auro Mein Kya Dum Tha, that sort of collaboration with him was special. How was it this time around?
Amazing. I think it's always a pleasure working with Neeraj, and I love reading his scripts. And when he sent me this script, obviously it did not have the climax and the pre-climax till then. But I loved the rest of it, and he'd already told me that I'm looking at you playing this cop, so just remember that when you're reading it. I found it very interesting, and also saw it as another opportunity to work with Neeraj, and that was it, because I know his process, how he was. I've done films with him, so I know that he's a very hard-working, focused filmmaker who likes to do a lot of sittings, a lot of readings with you, and be really well prepared before you get onto the sets. And once you get onto the sets, everything is just clockwork. So yeah, I mean, that was it, and I think we had a great time, and we didn't even get to know when we started and when it got over.
Please tell me more on your prep for your parts.
I think when I read the script, one of the things that was very exciting was also to look at the 15 years of journey, because the time duration is 15 years.
Yes.
The film has all the characters before the 15 years, during the 15 years, and post 15 years.
Yes.
So there are, in a way, 3 different sequences to them, 3 different looks also, maybe.
Yeah.
To be able to figure out that transition, to be able to ensure that it looks almost effortless, it looks seamless. Those are the things that as an actor you kind of took note of and wanted to ensure those things are right.
Tamannaah, your choices and the way you had this lineup in 2023, wherein I think when and please correct me if I'm wrong, that there's been such a great balance between getting that variety when it comes to, the things that we've seen you in, be it Ji Karta, Aakhri Sach, be it the two popular, iconic, I think they've become cult songs that you've had this year, and now this. Have they been extremely conscious choices in terms of the way you see yourself, and also the balance that you've struck between being that star and also satisfying the actor in you?
Yeah. No, I think for me, it's been a constant quest to not just, confined to people's ideas of what they think I should be. Like Bubbly Bouncer was almost a borderline androgynous character.
Yeah.
Then came Love Stories, which of course was, had a different connotation. And then there was, Aakhri Sach, which was, a thriller. And then there was Ji Karda, which was again, it was a very urban sort of a Mumbai life being showcased. I also had a Tamil film called Arunamani come out this year, which was a horror comedy. So I feel like I have a thing with people. Oh, if you do glamour, like if you are glamorous as a character, then you can't do something that's layered and nuanced. So just breaking those stereotypes, because I think in today's time and age we're done with that kind of a stereotype, and the whole idea of being an actor performer is to constantly challenge that and break that and reinvent yourself. So that was the goal, and that was a conscious choice for sure.
Yeah. Jimmy, it's so interesting that when we see your filmography, even though like Matches came in 96, but even if we start with Mohabbatein and now in 2024, though your films have been far and few, and the kind of, but today when you are there in a film, there is that connect with people have with you over the last more than 2 decades, like 2.5 decades. How have you maintained that sort of stability and accountability for yourself as an actor? Because when people see that you are a part of the film, they still look forward to it, and they know that they can expect something good.
I think that's the most important thing, to connect with the people.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to not make yourself
and to stay
connect,
relevant,
but just
which
make
you've managed. Yeah.
your characters connect with them, and that's what we try to do. Just make sure that the characters somewhere have a human touch, even if it's the most villainous or whatever. Somewhere you need people to connect.
But tell me, were you a naughty child?
Yeah.
I don't know why I have a feeling you were a very naughty child. Tell me yes or no.
I'll tell you later. Mool correct hai aapki.
See, I knew this, that he was a very naughty kid and he had a flip. When did the flip happen? Just curious now, my curiosity.
उनका इंटरव्यू
नहीं, मैं मुझे वो जानना है मूल वृत्ति से।
मूल वृत्ति से याद है।
मूल वृत्ति आपका प्रश्न है। चलिए पूछिए।
मूल वृत्ति से हो तो पिछले कुछ सालों में वो परिवर्तन हुआ है कैसे? You realized, and you analyzed things about yourself and your career. And
नहीं, मैं इतना नहीं सोचता हूँ ये आपको।
Your question was he was a naughty child, and now he's gotten serious.
He's not serious, but he's like, a little more composed and all that. But I want to know, like, of course, I'm sure he's been... Were you a naughty child?
Never. I was
saying that
I was a very studious kid. I used to...
Yeah, but he scored what, 80 something he said?
90,
yeah, 87, 89,
wow.
91, like that. Those were my marks. And still...
So you can be naughty and still score that much.
नहीं, मैं naughty. मिस्चीवियस जितने होते हैं बच्चे उस टाइप का था, उतनी मिस्चिफ तो थी मेरे अंदर, शायद आज भी है, लेकिन मैं बहुत बदमाश टाइप का नहीं था। शायद कॉलेज में आके थोड़ा सा हुआ था, बट आप लोग बहुत सीरियसली देख और सुन रहे हो मुझे।
कुछ निकल
आया। हाँ, मूल वृत्ति से याद आया that how do you do you look into yourself a lot? Do you analyze a lot?
See, मूल वृत्ति is instinct, okay?
Instinct,
and
yeah.
instinct
that
is mostly it's one whisperish thing that happens in your system, and that is normally not a conversation. It's a one-way conversation because you hear something that feels innate and strong to you. if you start thinking it, then it's not Mool Vriti anymore. It's just your psychological drama that's playing out.
Yeah.
So yeah, so they're two different
So do you
things.
have a very strong instinct, all of you, towards something? Towards maybe like when a script comes to you or something in your life happens?
I just know if like my friends are not with good people.
Really?
Yeah, that I have a very good instinct for that. Like I know he was a naughty child.
Yes.
She's refusing to admit.
No.
And then he's saying I was
wasn't
mischievous. But naughty and mischievous is the same thing.
No,
But
no.
maybe he's
it's
still
not.
I have
naughty
to
and
call
he's
his
just not
family
showing
and
it.
check.
Maybe he's still naughty and he just shows it to people who he...
Yeah, I need to know. Maybe call up Neeraj sir.
Hmm.
He will give us like juicy details.
नहीं मूल वृत्ति एक
I
ऐसी
think we
चीज
need
होती है
to
जो
step
हर
into
चीज में
Jimmy
नहीं
sir's
बार
house.
बार आती है. वो इंट्यूशन आपकी 24 घंटे नहीं लगी रहती है कि ये ऐसे अच्छा ये दरवाजा लेफ्ट से खुलता है राइट से खुलता है इंट्यूशन बोल रही है इधर से होता है ऐसे नहीं होता
It's organic.
ठीक है ना वो कोई ऐसी मेजर चीज होती है जिसमें आपको कोई एक आवाज है जो बोलती है कि नहीं ये सही है और आप उसको फॉलो करते हैं कभी कभी वो आपको लेट डाउन करती है कभी कभी आपको वो होती है जो लोग ये सोचते हैं कि मेरी इंट्यूशन हर बार करेक्ट होती है वो या तो ऑब्सेस्ड होते हैं या डिल्यूडेड होते हैं ठीक है हर बार नहीं ऐसा होता
तो कभी ऐसा हुआ है जब रॉन्ग
नहीं मैं बड़ा ह्यूमन टाइप का आदमी हूँ आधा टाइम मेरी इंट्यूशन मुझे गलत गाइड कर देती है
No, but I feel like my intuition is good and correct, but if I listen to somebody else na, then I'm in trouble. Like that always messes me.
तो दूसरे की मूल वृत्ति
No, never trust that. You have to trust what you think, because the moment you start taking opinions na, then it's a full khichdi in the head.
Avinash, also about you, how was it this year when you saw a film like Laila Majnu re-release, which didn't get the kind of, response it should have when it released that time? How was it when it finally got its due? And how do all of y'all feel when some things that you do in life finally get their due which they deserve?
I think a couple of things felt very nice. Majorly was that people who went to watch it made it really personal for them.
Right.
And just the fact that there were people who were associating with me at a personal level, wanting it to do well for me, that was something, I'm really grateful for it. It feels, I can only thank them. Because I haven't felt that for anyone. And then to see so many of them feeling for you, you're kind of humble, you kind of bow down to them. I think the other feeling that I had strongly post Laila Majnu's re-release is how my director felt and how important it was for him. That made me very, very happy. Personally for me, I had kind of got a sense of, people had liked the film. They had probably not gotten a chance. By the time they decided to see the film was off and got a second chance now. The fact that it's there on OTT for the past 6 years, it's available free on YouTube, and yet people came to the theaters to watch it. I'm still trying to figure out what the reason for it is. But when you don't understand, you just join your hands and say thank you. That's all I do.
Yeah. Have you all felt that there have been phases in your career where, maybe you all had to keep yourself motivated during even the times when maybe some things that y'all didn't get the kind of due it deserved?
Yeah, for sure. I think we all go through that where, you're really working. But I do feel like for me, how my career panned out is I just never stopped. If something didn't do well, I didn't I'd have one night of bawling and behaving like the world is coming to an end. And I would spend that time feeling really bad. But then after that, I would move on and get on with doing the next day's work. And to be honest, there have been days where I've been really upset on a film set and I'm doing a laughing scene or I'm doing a joyous scene. So sometimes I've not even had that opportunity to let out what I actually felt at that point of time. But then I also feel like good na, I do a job where I don't have to, I can actually use my my feelings and do something else with it.
True.
So it actually helped me transition through a lot of not such good days. But the whole goal was to not get too identified with the failure, because that's also not completely yours. It's a collective art form. So if a film fails, mostly it's not just you failing, it's like an entire unit sort of not being able to connect with an audience. So it's because of it's the unlike any other art form, films are a collective art form. So it's not just about you. And I think sometimes we obsess too much about ourselves and how mera failure, mera success.
True.
But actually, I don't know how do we even do that, because it's not even really completely our creation. It's a collective thing.
Yeah. Jimmy, you want to add to that?
I want to say that I feel very happy when somebody who deserves a lot suddenly gets it. There is even if I don't know that person, there is a kind of a joy within me which I feel that wow, this guy deserved it, and you feel really happy.
Yeah. And lastly, as we wrap up, one last question. Tamannaah, how have you managed to stay real? You have this very glamorous side which people come across, and yet how have you managed to be real and be like an inspiration when it also comes to women to be real and spread this message also of body positivity, and they look up to you because you've not set unreal standards or shown anything that's unreal, and maintained who you truly are in a scenario where people are constantly trying to box people.
Yeah, I think it stems from the fact that I myself grew up on unrealistic body standards. I was that child who thought that being skinny is being fit. But as I evolved through my journey of the movies, I feel like the movies was the biggest way of learning that fitness was actually the natural outcome of being fit was feeling good, which led to looking good, which led to everything around you feeling like it's good. So I also truly believe that today's time and age, what I did not get as a child, I really somewhere feel that if I am in a position of power today, I would like that maybe some girl out there watching who feels like she is not beautiful has to, maybe through my journey, understand that beauty has nothing to do with a shape or size. Beauty is actually what you think of yourself, because largely your entire life is your perception of it. So what you think is beautiful actually ends up becoming beautiful in your understanding. So I truly believe that. I hope that if at all and to be honest, it's not something that I arrived at. Like, I wasn't always confident in my body, and I think it's rather recent for me to start feeling like, because what, a woman's body changes a lot. Like, and I've been in front of the camera since I was 15. So I have seen myself in my teenage, my 20s. I'm in my 30s right now, and I see my body changing, and I understand the pressure every day of literally being under a microscope, because that's what a camera is. At least a film camera does that. It's a microscope. It can see through your pores. It can literally see through your soul. So when you have to go that bare, I really feel like it's important that if at all I can, through my work, make people feel like it's not been an easy ride for me to feel this good about myself. But now that I do,
recently.
But now that I do, I want to tell everyone else that they should also, because it's fab.
Yeah, it is. And all three of you are fab. So thank you so much, and all the very best for Sikandar Ka Muqaddar.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.